Welcome to another episode of 120 Seconds of What We Think. So Ted and I were speaking and going over this interesting point. You know, they always have mergers and acquisitions and different corporations, one buys another, da 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 da. I found that I've had pretty good luck with choosing certain stocks and this and that the other, which have always been the opposite of what my financial advisor actually recommends. But yet they've actually performed well. And I've tried to explain to him, and I know that Ted's going to understand this, but my financial advisor is not able to understand this. But he goes, well, what the hell are you looking at? I said, well, I look at how much of that company is actually connecting to the cultural trends, like what you and I value. Like when I hear that people are starting to binge watch, I know that Netflix is really making inroads into being a norm in culture. And so that's the thing that has made me choose. And I look at what are the dynamics of that, and then I look at also the companies that I work with, how do I build something to actually move it to actually being the next evolution or revolution in its space. But that's the thing. I look at what's its relationship and how does it interface with culture today. And I found that to work to help clients, and I've also found it to work to actually choose stocks that perform well. And I'm just curious what your experience is in that area.
Well, my experience is that if I buy a stock, you ought to sell it in general. And by the way, I was in the business for years, and I did incredibly well when I was in the business. And I think part of it is that to really do it well, you really have to bring yourself into that business and do more work. And I'm just not that kind of guy. I don't do enough. So what I've really learned here is, first of all, is I'm going to talk to David more often. And that's he's laughing, but it's not a joke, because if he tells me he's done well, then I respect that. But I love his perspective, because there's an investor that I've always admired. And again, it takes a lot of work, so I haven't really put myself what he did with Peter Lynch from Fidelity. Mm-hmm. His whole thing was he of course looked at the numbers before he put his real dollars on the line. But the way he picked the company he looked closely at were by personal experiences, by his wife coming home and saying, oh my God, I was at this new store, it's called Costco, and it was amazing. Or him and then him going to the store, or in all different walks. Like that's how he made his fortune investing. And that's kind of what you're doing, but without necessarily going to the store, you're looking at it in a perspective of what is it going to do, how is it going to change people's lives, and you look at it as a brand marketer, which I love that. So number one is, I'm going to try to incorporate some of that into my thinking going forward. Mm-hmm. I think I'm smart, so I usually think I can do that. I'll probably find that after my first two buys that I'm not doing it well, and then I'll go back to my first reaction, which is going to be call David. That's what I think.
So what's been your experience, and what do you think?
What do you think?
Answer below.
Let us know.
Yeah.